Trisha Holt glanced at her wristwatch and sighed. Why she ever believed Bill would actually show was a mystery to her. It wasn't like he had a glowing track record. No. The man had let her down more times than she was willing to count. Still, she'd agreed to marry him. The idea of turning 30 in a month and still being single scared her, though she wasn't sure why. It's not as though 30 was old. She wouldn't reach her expiration date at midnight on her birthday. Yet she couldn't get out of the mindset that if she didn't have a husband, a home, and a family started by then, she never would. Truth be told, Bill wasn't the guy she wanted to fill the shoes of husband and father to hypothetical children. The man she really wanted in that role didn't think of her as girlfriend material, let alone as a potential wife. No. Her best friend, Dane Bennett, he acted as though she was an extension of himself, rather than a female willing to lie in his arms for the rest of their lives. She'd resigned herself to remaining romantically neutral where he was concerned, but he made it hard. They were together every day. Growing up an only child had left Trisha always longing for company. Always a loner. She never warmed enough to her schoolmates to consider any true friends. Perhaps that's why she had taken to art. It wasn't normally considered a group activity, and it functioned as a creative outlet. She'd excelled, and it had taken her to college. Upon graduation, she'd landed an entry-level position at a prestigious advertising firm. It was right then that she made her first real friend, Dane. Dane worked in the office building adjacent to hers. After 7 years, she still wasn't entirely sure what he did. She did, however, know that it had something to do with investments, and that he must be pretty damn high up in the company. Whenever she used to phone his office, she'd have to go through 4 people to get to him. Each woman would ask her name and reason for calling, then inform her that Mr. Bennett was in a meeting and was not to be disturbed. The minute she teased Dane about it, it stopped. Since then, whenever she called, they immediately put her right through to him. As if that wasn't enough proof of his position. He seemed to be able to come and go as he pleased. He even timed his lunches with hers, and on days she was sick, he came over to her apartment and kept her company. Dane had never invited her over to see where he worked, but he managed to stop by her office a few times a week. All the women she worked with had crushes on him. Each of them poked and goaded about her dating Dane. Again and again she found herself explaining that they were just friends, nothing more. The idea of asking him out on a date had occurred to her once, right after they'd first met. But Dane had said things that had led her to believe she wasn't his type of woman. Comments like, "We're a breed apart, baby. A breed apart. It's a good thing we'll never be more than friends." The strangest one was, "I'm not only more of a man than women can handle, I'm flat out more than a man." He was bizarre like that. The cryptic lines and the disappearing for several nights a month had all seemed weird to her at first. Now, she was just used to them. To Dane. The sound of her cell phone ringing pulled her out of deep thought. Rifling through her purse, she found it. Hello? "Hey, Trish. I'm not interrupting Bill's endless rambling, am I?" Dane's deep voice moved through the phone and wrapped itself around her, comforting her, easing some of the embarrassment of being stood up again. She smiled softly. "No, you're not interrupting Bill. He'd have to be here to do that." Dane was quiet for a moment. "You didn't want to spend the evening in that stuffy restaurant anyway, remember? You always break out from the caviar he tries to make you eat. Remember the last time the ass took you there? I ended up staying at your house for 2 nights because whatever you ate didn't agree with you.